cheated, lied to, or tricked? She's tackling every opportunity to make something that went wrong right. Better Call Bacon is on your side.
When you buy a vehicle in Florida, the law requires dealers to apply to transfer the title into your name within 30 days. If they do not do that, the state can fine the dealer or even suspend or revoke their license.
That law is what gives regulators the power to make sure consumers register their cars in their names. But a Florida senator filed a bill that would take away that requirement. Shannon Binkin here now to explain.
Senator Tom Wright of Volusia County quietly filed Bill 1346 on December 21st to little fanfare. And I've been trying for days to talk to him about why, but his office tells me he's too busy. Meanwhile, government officials and consumer advocates tell me they're shocked by the bill and they want it stopped.
Most states require car dealers to transfer title to buyers typically within 30 days or face getting kicked out of the state. But State Senator Tom Wright of Volusia County wants to change that in Florida. He's proposing Senate Bill 1346. It would amend existing legislation so that a dealer no longer must obtain a title in the name of the purchaser. Instead, the bill would replace must with should. Senator Wright has not returned my calls to explain his motivation, but Pasco County tax collector Mike Fasano, whose office processes titles, was stunned when I notified him of this bill.
And what kind of consequences could this bill have?
Well, it'll have a major consequence. First, if you do not require the dealer to turn a title to the new owner into their name within a certain period of time, or maybe never, that owner or that new owner never truly owns the car.
That would mean they couldn't get a permanent license plate. And that's exactly what my Better Call Bacon investigation found happening to Carvana customers. And December 17th, state regulators responded, giving Carvana until the end of January to clear up title issues or face losing its license. Wright's bill was filed just 4 days later. Fasano calls the timing suspicious.
My question would be, what makes you even think of this? I mean, most legislators don't have a clue that a transferring of a title has to be done within 30 days. So to come up with a piece of legislation like that, somebody had a whisper in your ear.
The bill would also take away the state's ability to revoke a dealer's license for failure to transfer title. Fasano says this means the state couldn't force a dealer like Carvana to do anything.
Would the state have any power if this bill was passed?
They would have no recourse.
So basically, the 30-day requirement turns into more of a suggestion. The bill does require a dealer who doesn't deliver in the recommended 30 days to pay a fee of $20.
I have so many questions about this story, but I'll try to narrow it down. You haven't heard from Wright himself, right?
Right.
And what happens next? I mean, is the industry responding? Like I said, I have a lot of questions. This doesn't really pass the smell test.
Yes, I think this is the beginning of much more to come, but Fasano tells me he's already contacted the state's Tax Collector Association, and they told him they didn't know about this bill either. Other politicians I've spoken to tell me that they plan to contact Wright himself to make sure that he understands the consequences. And again, Fasano tells me that he's hopeful that once he does understand those consequences, he'll drop the bill.
But it's also suspicious that there was no press release or anything, no fanfare, which we very typically get from lawmakers when they are pushing some agenda. So.
Something they're proud of, yes.
All right, stay on it. Thank you.
We will.
If you have a problem that needs solving, Better Call Bacon. The number is 1-855-BANKIN, or you can reach her on Facebook at WFLA Shannon.